Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody is having an absolutely amazing day. I know I am. Yesterday was awesome. The Overwatch League absolutely killed it. I didn't have as great as a day as I did on the first one. I got two of the matches wrong. The Houston Outlaws, they came out. They surprised me. The second match, as expected, New York Excelsior did take it. And surprisingly, they had a sub in. We'll talk about that later. And in the third match, Philadelphia Fusion, whoa. They caught me off guard. My prediction about them was completely wrong. I got to take back everything I said about them because they looked absolutely insane today. We'll go ahead and talk about that one as well later. And wow, just what a great day, guys. The Overwatch League is looking great. The viewers are up, looking just as good as stage one. No drop off. Also, you can now cheer in the Overwatch League Twitch chat. You can send bits over, which is real life money. And in the first 10 hours of them adding this, there was over $140,000 worth of bits sent to the Overwatch League Twitch. That's absolutely insane, guys. It shows how strong the support is for the league. Everybody is loving it. The skins, the games. It's going amazing, guys. And if you're new here, be sure to drop a subscription, guys, because you can get your Overwatch League daily fix here. I upload a video every single day, sometimes multiple videos. So if you want to watch some Overwatch League videos, go ahead and drop that sub, leave a like, and let's hop into it, guys. The first set of the day, we had the Houston Outlaws and the London Spitfire. Now, I predicted the London Spitfire were going to win this one either 4-0, 3-1. I really didn't think that the Houston Outlaws had much of a chance. I thought that the London Spitfire had their number. I feel like in that last match in the stage playoffs, they figured out how to beat the Houston Outlaws, and they would come into this match. So let's go ahead and just jump right into that first match, guys. The Houston Outlaws and the London Spitfire. And like I said, the Houston Outlaws really caught me off guard. I did not expect them to win this series. I know they're a good team. We all know they're a good team. This kind of just brings back what I was saying a lot in the previous stage. Any team can beat any team at any time, especially when the meta shift comes in. I should have known better than to write off the Houston Outlaws, and they definitely proved me wrong, and I'm happy for them. It was also really nice to see some of their new players come in and play. We saw Clockwork, Spree, Boink was in for every single game now that it's a dominant Lucio meta. By the way, guys, Lucio is the most played healer so far, and Houston looked really good in this new meta. I think they took their time off last week. They prepared for this match big time. They were upset about losing in the Stage 1 playoffs, and they brought that hot fire. As for the London Spitfire, I am a little disappointed in them. Not because I think the Houston Outlaws are bad or anything, or that they should have had an easy time winning. Just simply, I am upset with the London Spitfire. They cannot win Koth. They have to win these control maps. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but they have a very low winning percentage on Koth. I mean, it is really hard for me to even think of a set they've had recently where they've won a Koth map that wasn't against like the Shanghai Dragons or Florida Mayhem. I have talked to a few different Overwatch League players. They have told me that their teams have built strategies where if they win both of the control points, they usually will come out on top in a set against the London Spitfire. Because the London Spitfire aren't very good at Koth, you prepare for those two Koth maps and then you focus hard on one of the other maps. Because if you can sneak in one of the three other maps, whether it is hybrid, payload, or 2CP, if you sneak in one of those, you have a very good shot at beating the London Spitfire because they simply just suck at Koth for some reason. And the reason why it upsets me is these teams have been formed for a very long time now. They've been together at least since October 31st. That gives them like 5, almost 6 months together. And you think for being one of the best teams in the entire world, I mean, basically the best, they did win Stage 1 playoffs, they would be able to win King of the Hill by now. But they can't. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter who they put in. They could have a lot of Kongdu players, a lot of GC Busan players. They just, for some reason, lose Koth. They have to get their act together because they got lucky in the Stage 1 playoffs that the format of the maps changed and it wasn't 2 Koth maps and the 5th map was Dorado instead of Lijiang. Because if it was Lijiang, I would have bet like $1,000 New York Excelsior would have won it because simply London Spitfire do not win control. They have lost it against basically every single team and they're lucky that they're barely getting by, only winning 2CP, payload, and hybrid. Koth is probably the most important game mode in the Overwatch League since it is the mode that is played twice if a tiebreaker is needed. So that's my little rant on the London Spitfire and how they really need to start getting better at Koth. There's no more excuses at this point. And the Houston Outlaws still, though, they looked very good. They were able to get that win on Kings Row, which was crucial in this set because that completes the strategy. Win both Koth games, sneak in one of the payload, 2CP, or hybrid maps. And they did just that. They looked very good on Kings Row. Let's talk about that map, actually, because they steamrolled on their attack. I think they had 4 minutes left. That was one of the most brutal pushes I've seen so far in the Overwatch League, so props to them for that. And guess who was in for them? They had Spree playing, who looked very good on D.Va and Zarya. So it seems that the Houston Outlaws aren't scared to bring out some of their subs anymore. I remember back in Stage 1, they did say that they wanted to stick to a core 6 because they thought that's what would give them the best chance at winning. But now, hey, they're reaching in, they're pulling out some players here and there, and they're surprising some other teams, which I think is very good. I think they've taken pages out of other teams' books. And the team today, Lone Spitfire, that really didn't swap out any players, ended up losing. So good for the Houston Outlaws. Very smart move right there. I think the coaches are doing an excellent job. Like I said, they looked very prepared, so that has to do with the coaches as well. As for the London Spitfires roster, it's kind of hard to tell who the best Lucio is for them. I know Nuss was a great Lucio for Meta Athena. Closer was also an amazing Lucio for GC Busan, so it's tough to say which one of them is better. As for Hagopan and Badosin, I really think Badosin should be in there over Hagopan. Hagopan is good, he's a consistent player, but Badosin just has that carry potential. Similar to Jonak from NYXL, he just has so much presence, he puts in the damage, he gets the tranks very fast, he's always in good position, so I think it would be smarter to run Badosin more than Hagopan. And I think I've covered most of everything I wanted to talk about from this first set. Again, the Houston Outlaws, they looked very good. They surprised me, they seem really strong in this new meta. London Spitfire, you know, they look good as well. They just have this problem on control that they have to fix. Maybe now that the meta is dive, they will be able to improve a bit at Koth, because the GC Busan roster was actually a very good control team back in Apex, and it was a dive meta with Zenyatta, Lucio. So we'll just have to see what happens. Let's go to move into the second set, which was the New York Excelsior taking on the Florida Mayhem, which is a little hard to judge because the New York Excelsior were missing Arc, very similar to their run in the preseason where they had Libero and Pine actually swapping back and forth on the support role. They kind of got rolled by Seoul Dynasty and had a really close match against the Boston Uprising. This time, instead of having Libero and Pine flex to the support though, they put Mano on Lucio, which was interesting. But obviously, I think it hinders their team not having Arc. He is a very good player. His Mercy was absolutely insane in Stage 1. And I'm sure his Lucio is on par as well. So that was definitely a hit to the New York Excelsior. Not trying to take anything away from the Florida Mayhem because there were some really close maps in this set. Hanamura went back and forth all the way to the last fight. Lijiang Tower went back and forth all the way to the last fight. And the Florida Mayhem did take Lijiang Tower. The only map that was really not close was the last one, Gibraltar. And New York Excelsior had a great attack. They had a good defense as well. Florida Mayhem did put up a little bit of a fight. Logix actually looked really good in this set. And on Lijiang, Tavik actually had one of the sickest reflects I've seen in a while. He reflected this rocket straight back onto Farah. Libero got wrecked. That was funny as hell. And definitely a nice play from Tavik. So the players individually on Florida Mayhem definitely did look improved in this set. Again, though, it is hard to judge since Mano was playing Lucio. They didn't have Arc in. Florida Mayhem also still not able to play with any of their new players as they are still dealing with visa issues, so I don't know how long it's going to be before we could see Seiya player or Awesome Guy come in. Swoosh also didn't look all that bad today, and I was happy with that. So overall, Florida Mayhem did look a bit better, but we don't know how much better because New York Excelsior were missing one of their star support players. It's kind of similar to that match when we saw Houston Outlaws take on Seoul Dynasty and they lost 2-3, but they didn't have Linkser in. So it was just a really hard match to judge because you didn't really know Seoul Dynasty, are they not playing that well? Houston Outlaws, are they better? They didn't have Linkser. It's what if. So this game's basically, well, what if New York Excelsior had Arc? Would it have been an easier 4-0? Would the game have been the same? I don't know. Nonetheless, though, I am not trying to take anything away from Florida Mayhem. They looked much better in this set. I'm happy for them. Looks like they're improving coming into this new meta. They took the break very seriously. They worked on things that they needed to improve on. And they had some close games against one of the best teams in the league. So good on them. And New York Excelsior, obviously one of the best teams in the league. Like I said, they looked good today too. Always good when you get the win no matter what. Especially when you're missing one of your best players too. So good stuff coming from the New York Excelsior. And I'm really looking forward to the match tomorrow between New York Excelsior and London Spitfire. I don't know exactly what was going on with Arc, if he's injured or if he's sick, if he'll be there tomorrow in their match against London Spitfire. But that is going to be a big match, a rematch from the Stage 1 finals. New York Excelsior did get reverse swept, so I know they're coming in for revenge. And London Spitfire coming off a loss to the Houston Outlaws. I'm sure they're looking to win this one. So tomorrow's going to be hype, boys. I can't wait for that one. Hopefully it's another good one, whether it's another reverse sweep, Game 5, I don't care. Just want some good Overwatch, guys, because that's what it's all about. Watching some good, great Overwatch play. Now, let's move on to the very last set of the day, which was the Philadelphia Fusion 4-0ing the Boston Uprising. You heard it, guys. 4-0. This came out of left field for me. This is definitely one of the least expected results for me of the week. I honestly really counted out the Philadelphia Fusion, and I shouldn't have. I was wrong. They were very inconsistent in the stage 1, and in week 5 they got completely steamrolled by the Boston Uprising, so I really saw no reason for the Philadelphia Fusion to come out and win this one. And I don't even think it was due to the fact that the Boston Uprising were either uncomfortable in the new meta, or were unprepared for this match, or just didn't respect them enough. Any crazy things like that. Philadelphia Fusion just simply outplayed the Boston Uprising, and individually they looked amazing. Oh man, and don't even get me started on this EQO guy. Oh, here we go, man. Whoa. Where the hell did this guy come from? Reinforce mentioned on the desk that he knocked him out of Season 0 Contenders qualifiers. Qualifiers, that was the furthest he got. I know he played for Team Israel in the World Cup. He did play for Complexity for about a month right before the team died when they replaced Harblue. He played in the Pit and in the April monthly Rumble. And like I said, unfortunately, Complexity didn't get good results in this tournament and the team died after. Oh, and he was also playing Flex Tank for Complexity. So other than that, this guy's basically come out of nowhere. EQO, wow. He looked just as good as ShaDowBurn, if not better. This was an incredible Genji performance. His Dragon Blades, it's actually crazy to think about because EQO's Genji Dragon Blades were so similar to how ShaDowBurn does it. It was so methodical. It looked like he knew where every single person was on the map. As he was swiping, he was already thinking about dashing and swiping on the next person, and it was so fast we couldn't even see with our naked eye. A hell of a performance, and the Philadelphia Fusion really found a gem out of this guy. And now, honestly, the Philadelphia Fusion are in a position where, like, who do you run? Who do you run? Do you run ShaDowBurn? Do you run EQO? They're both so good. EQO looks so fresh and young, though. This guy is an animal. This kind of really reminds me of a situation where, like, in the NFL, you have a starting quarterback who is very good. He's a veteran. He's been around for a while, and he's always been a very solid performer. He's gotten you far in playoffs, some good performances. And then he gets injured, and you have this new, fresh rookie come in, and he starts doing some crazy things. He's lighting it up, throwing crazy passes, getting touchdowns, and he has a great season, gets you far in the playoffs as well, maybe even like the Super Bowl. Reminds me of like maybe the Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith situation in San Francisco, or the situation with the New England Patriots before Tom Brady came in. They had Drew Bledsoe. He led them to a Super Bowl. He was very good. He got injured. Tom Brady came out of nowhere, and he looked amazing, and Bill Belichick had to make a crazy decision whether he wanted to keep Tom Brady in as a rookie who got them to the Super Bowl, or they wanted to bring back in Drew Bledsoe who got them to a Super Bowl previously. And even in recent times, when Tom Brady wasn't able to play, they had Jimmy Garoppolo come in, and he was fantastic. He was doing great, and then they ended up selling him for a bunch of money. So there's just some sports analogies for those of you guys who follow the NFL. If not, well, you know, it's an analogy. I thought I'd throw it out there. So we're in a situation here with EQO and ShaDowBurn where, you know, either keep them both, train them, have them both become insane players, similar to how London Spitfire did in Stage 1, where you just have really good players in multiple roles, or you could even trade this guy for something that you really need. Say the Philadelphia Fusion's coaching staff realizes they have a serious problem. Now, this is a hypothetical. Say Fraggy or Poco just are really bad and aren't performing at all. They can go do a blockbuster trade for an insane player to replace them, selling either ShaDowBurn or EQO. And you know the demand for a player like ShaDowBurn would be absolutely insane. And if EQO gets a few more games in the Overwatch League and he performs similar to this, that guy will be very high on the market as well. So Philadelphia Fusion have landed themselves in a very interesting position. If I were in their shoes, I would have some serious thinking to do, and man, I don't know what they're going to do now. Who's going to play? I think they need to give EQO some more games. Obviously, ShaDowBurn is a freaking beast, but the guy today looked amazing for his first Overwatch League game and pretty much his first high-pressure situation ever, besides really like the World Cup and Complexity trials. So mad props to EQO. His Genji looked absurd. Damn, just damn. Philadelphia Fusion, they rolled over the Boston Uprising. I haven't even talked about the games yet. I'm just talking about EQO and how amazing he looked. But in this new meta, the Philadelphia Fusion looked much better as a team. They looked way more coordinated. Fraggy didn't really seem to be overextending, and it didn't look like he was just doing random things at random times that his team wasn't expecting. They were all on the same page, and his team was definitely following up for him. And as for the Boston Uprising, it just really didn't seem to me like they were underperforming or anything, or they weren't prepared. Simply like got outplayed and looked outclassed. Philadelphia Fusion just looked 10 times better than they did in their last match against Boston Uprising. And I don't know if this means that the Philadelphia Fusion are going to be a lot more of a consistent performer, or if it means that they're just this inconsistent. They look amazing today, and then now they're going to lose their next match against the Florida Mayhem. Who really knows? Honestly, the Overwatch League is just all over the place. Any team can win at any time. Every team looks good, then they look bad. It's crazy, man, but this is why we love it. This is why it's so exciting. And I definitely wouldn't want it any other way. Oh wow, and I just remembered, I haven't mentioned this yet. Carpe swapped to the Widowmaker on third point attack on Hollywood, and he just hit some of the craziest shots I've ever seen in my life. That was one of the best short Widowmaker performances I've seen. He literally hit shot after shot, and they weren't even like these normal long-range Widowmaker shots. They were around like close corridors, around these corners and stuff. It was just crazy, guys. I definitely underrated Carpe as a Widowmaker, and he's looking like one of the best in the league, hands down. I can't wait to see him do more on that hero. And that's basically it for today, guys. The Houston Outlaws looked amazing. London Spitfire really got to get it together on Koth. Florida Mayhem did put up a fight today. That was great to see. New York Excelsior still looking strong. They have a big match tomorrow against London Spitfire. That's going to be exciting. Then in the last match, we had EQO and Philadelphia Fusion look absolutely absurd. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to perform for the rest of the stage. Let me know how you guys feel about all of those things. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content, guys. Overwatch League videos every single day. And follow Team KINGmykL on Twitter. You can stay up to date. We do have Contenders Trials matches coming up tonight. So if you want to know how those matches go, you have to be followed for those updates at Team_KINGmykL on Twitter, guys. And I'm out of here. Check out all my social medias. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.